المرسلين سيدنا ومولانا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد اللهم صل وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. We request another Surah Al-Fatiha for Marhum Haj Ali Hushmand Balo Shahri, the beloved father of Sister Siddiqa, Sister Zarifa, and Brother Ja'far. Please accept our condolences. And the grandfather of Brother Afshin and Sister Fatima. Please recite a Surah Al-Fatiha and 3 Qul Huwa Allahu Ahad after a Salawat ala Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Bismillah ar-Rahman. We have tradition that reciting 3 Surah Al-Tawheed is equal to reciting the entire Quran. So, inshallah, this was a khatm of the Quran for this marhum. May Allah, inshallah, extend His mercy and give patience to this family, inshallah. When we look at the different calamities that someone can face, and we know that life is difficult, one of the hardest things that a person can have, and one of the fears that all of us have, is the loss of our parents, our elders. The tradition has that there are 3 things that make a person weak. There are 3 things that take strength from somebody. Maybe sometimes when this happens, a person can't even stand, doesn't even know what to do. The tradition from Imam Ali says, ثَلَاثُ يَهْدُدْنَا الْقَوَىٰ فَقْدُ الْأَحِبَّةِ. The first is loss of loved ones. And it is a terrible sadness for us to lose someone that we love. 2, وَالْفَقْرُ فِي الْقُرْبَةِ. It compares this to being in poverty and being poor when you're all alone, estranged. Imagine being in a distant land, you don't have any money, nobody to help you. This is another great difficulty. وَدَوَامُ الشِّدَّةِ. And then when calamity is perpetual, it doesn't. Sometimes calamity comes and leaves, or when calamity is always there. So we understand that as believers, and hopefully we are trying to gain wisdom from the Holy Quran and sayings of Prophet and his family, that life is not always the same. Life has ups and downs. Especially those that are older know this. Some days we have are very good days. Some time periods are very good. Everyone is with us. Everyone is around us. I'm financially capable, spiritually doing well. Everything is good. There are times that every one of you had time periods like this. Sometimes we have times of difficulty, days that are against us. My question is, what do we do when times are for us, and what should we do when times are against us? This is tradition. Whatever we have is from Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. And generally, I like to incorporate Quran and Hadith in my sermons. The reason for this is that maybe what I say has darkness in it, but what Quran says, what Imam Ali alayhi salam says, has light and nur in it. So the tradition has ad-dahru yawman. Time is of 2. فَيَوْمٌ لَكْ. One day it is for you, and everything is going well. فَيَوْمٌ عَلَيْكَ. And there is a day that is against you. فَإِذَا كَانَ لَكَ فَلَا تَبْتَرْ. If that day everything is going right for you, do not become intoxicated. Do not become in a way that you lose focus and you become rebellious when it comes to Allah. How many people do we know then yawmun, like they had too much happiness, too much sometimes goodness, and what happens is they become rebellious and they do not come masjid anymore. They don't want to pray anymore. Why? Because now they have so much capability, so much potential, monetary potential. They use that money for trips. They use that money for an extravagant way of life, and slowly and slowly and slowly they rebel against Allah. The second is وَإِذَا كَانَ عَلَيْكَ فَلَا تَحْزَنْ. Imam Ali says, I say this to the dear family, when that day is against you, do not be in grief. Do not be sad. Do not have grief, Imam Ali alayhi salam says. We have to understand the essence of life. The essence of life is that life in this world is of transient nature. We're not passing, we're just passing life. We're just passing this world. Our real life is somewhere else. We have been created for the akhirat. We have been created for the hereafter. All of us have to pass. Who said we're going to stay here forever? So the tradition, this part, which is the very interesting part, is فَبِكِلَيْهِمَا سَتُخْتَبَرْ. So pay attention. Pay attention. For both of these states, yawmun lak and yawmun alayk, day for you, day against you, both of these time periods you will be tested. Allah is testing you. Because His test is not just one test. It has different dimensions. It is a test of happiness. What do you do when you're so happy? Do you remember Allah? What do you do when you're sad? Do you give up on Allah? No, we do not. So we need to learn from this that we have to cope with the reality of loss of life by the instructions from Quran and Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, that one, do not be sad. Two, this is a test. Allah is watching you. Imam Hussein alayhi salam mentions, in the Maqtal is mentioned, that when he loses Ali Asghar alayhi salam, he comes and is very sad, but what makes it easier is that he knows this is happening in the front of the eyes of God. God is watching. God is watching me. He is testing me. He created life and death to test me, to see which one is the best. So what am I going to do now? Now that we've lost this family member, will this cause you proximity to Allah or not? And that is the subject of tonight's discussion, as to how to seek proximity with difficulty, with tests, in order to become the best servant of the Imam of the age. Please recite Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. This world is a world that we are in pain. There is suffering. This world, if you think that this world is one that there's no pain in it, you're making a grave mistake. Quran mentions لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي كَبَدٍ. Man has been created into hardship. Man has been created with hardship. Hardship exists. There will be times that are difficult for us. Imam Ali alayhi salam mentions, this world is dar bil bala'i mahlufa, that this world is in reality covered with bala and calamities. So therefore we have to understand that we have to be patient when it comes to these calamities. And this is one of the first things. That the first thing that you tell somebody once they lose someone that is close to them is that this is the nature of the world. This world is filled with calamities. The second thing that I want to say is from Imam Ali alayhi salam, is that the more hardship we have, the more difficult it is, the more reward we get. It has from the tradition, كلما كانت البلوى والاختبار أعظم كانت المثوبة والجزاء أجزل. However you face more struggle, more hardship, the reward is even more. So we have two types of people, and you've seen this. Types of people that run away from hardship, run away from difficulty. Their life, everything has to be perfect for their life in order for them to function. air conditioning has to be perfect, their meal has to be on time, and they live in a life of comfort. That person does not progress. That person does not progress. That person that puts themselves into difficulty, and Imam Ali alayhi salam, another tradition says to place yourselves in makruh, those things you don't like, put yourselves in that. Then you will reach kamal and perfection. And you've seen people that have had hardship their entire life. Sometimes, some of the ulama and scholars that we had were yatim or orphans. And they had the most amount of hardship. They didn't have a father to teach them, for example, to give them all the books and to teach them all the lessons. But yet they became some of the most knowledgeable of people because they were orphans. So we have to learn to embrace hardship. We have to learn that we are created to be perfect, to be complete. And hardship makes us great. We're going to relate the second part of the lecture tonight to Imam Al-Hasan Al-Askari alayhi salam, because also we see that he is the father of the Imam of the age. And we also want blessings to go to the spirit of this marhum. And to also learn that Imam Hasan al-Askari alayhi salam, when he was poisoned, how old was the Imam of the age? How old was it, the Imam? About 5 years old. So it was a tragedy for a 5-year-old to lose their father. And therefore, the Imam relates with you when you lose your father, when you lose your beloved. You also have some of that tragedy that the Imam of the age had. But we see that the Imam has companions. We see that Imam Hasan Askari, Imam Mahdi Ajjallahu Ta'ala Farajahu Sharif, has companions and ashab. When it comes to these companions and ashab, one of them is the name of Uthman ibn Sa'id al-Amri. And we're over Muharram and Safar has finished. And we said time and time again that the purpose of majalis of Imam Hussein is to make companions for Imam of the age. And the purpose of our lives and the hardship we face is to become a companion. Let's look and investigate how were the characteristics and how were the life of some of the great companions of the Imams. Uthman ibn Sa'id al-Amri was a confidant of the Imam. At that time, Shi'ism had spread throughout the Middle East. It wasn't limited, for example, to Medina or, for example, to Kufa. Actually, one of the capital of lovers of Ahlul Bayt, that some of the scholars said during that time was Qom, with the Iranians. Maybe 80 companions of the family of the Prophet, or people that loved the notable people, were in Iran. So Uthman ibn Sa'id al-Amri was in charge of taking either the financial money of the Imams, or sometimes answering questions. And what happened to him? You see that one time he comes, and he comes with 40 people to Imam Hasan Askari alayhi salam, and he comes forth, and the Imam knows automatically why he is there. The Imam reads their mind, his mind. This is in the tradition. The Imam mentions, I know why you are here, paraphrasing, that you're here, you're asking about my son Imam Mahdi Ajjallahu Ta'ala Fajr. You're asking about my successor. And that time he brings forward Imam Zaman. He brings this young person that I want you to imagine, many people were trying to martyr Imam Zaman. They're trying to look for him because they knew the traditions. They knew that the 11th Imam would be the father of the 12th. He was in watch in Samarra. And the fact that his, Hazrat Narjis didn't have the signs of pregnancy was to hide and protect him. So now Imam Hasan Askari salam shows Imam Zaman, and I want you to imagine how close must you be for him to show you the Munji, the Savior, one that everyone is looking and seeking for, one who the enemies are trying to get. So he shows Uthman ibn Sa'id al-Amri and the 40 companions that are with him, his successor. And at that time you see that Uthman ibn Sa'id al-Amri, he tells him that فَهُوَ خَلِيفَةٌ إِمَامِكُمْ وَالْأَمْرُ إِلَيْهِ. The affair will be with him. Why? Because Uthman was one who all the wealth and tradition that is collected from various places is first accumulated with Uthman ibn Sa'id. The Imam trusted him with all the money, all the khums first went to Uthman ibn Sa'id Amri. Meaning, if you want to be one of the confidants, if you want to be one of the loyalists of the Imam, you have to be a trustworthy person. How many people did we have in history that were agents of the Imams, wakils of the Imams, but they stole the khums money? And they created different religion, different sects. Why? So they can control the money. And they became known as waqifis. They would say, the next Imam, there's no next Imam. Give me all the money. I'm in control of it. This is mine now. I don't need to give it to the next Imam. This is all mine now. Many people we have that this happened to, that they had the test of money. How well are we as a community with money? How well are we when it comes to business? How honest are you? You only, for example, very in good mannerisms. When it comes to masjid, you're very polite, salamun alaikum. But then when someone does business with you, you say, this guy's horrible, he ripped me off. He didn't do the job right. One thing you learn from the story of Uthman ibn Sa'id Amri is that he was a trustworthy person when it came to business, when it came to money. So therefore, he deserves to be the best. So therefore, you see that this is one example. And the Imam gives this tradition, Imam Hassan Askari salam, and this is very important for us to know. And this is actually a tradition I came up today, because I was always wondering, there are those unfortunately there that are always trying to bring the status of the Imams down. They're always trying to say that the Imams are like normal people. But yet we look at this tradition. It says, إِنَّ اللَّهَ تَبَارَكَ وَتَعَالَى بَيَّنَ حُجَّتَهُ مِنْ سَائِرِ خَلْقِهِ بِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ. Allah has given the Imam everything. Allah, it says, in what book is this? Al-Kafi. Allah has given Imam, from Imam Hassan Askari, everything. From language, يُعْطِيهِ اللُّغَاتِ. Imams can speak languages. How many languages are there today? 1,000, 2,000 languages. Imam can speak in different languages. Imam is given ma'rifah al-ansab. Ansab is to know, for example, the history, the tribes, to know who is from what tribe, for example. The Imam has knowledge of al-ajal, life, who dies, who lives. Tradition in Al-Kafi. Imam has knowledge of al-hawadith, what will happen. Clear tradition. Never be like those, but when you hear these stories and the Imam mentions something in the heart or in the mind of someone and reads their mind because he knows al-hawadith. And the reasoning for this is important. وَلَوْلَا ذَلِكَ لَمْ يَكُنْ بَيْنَ الْحُجَّةِ وَالْمَحْجُوجِ فَرْقٍ. If it wasn't like this, Imam Hassan Askari says, alayhi salam, that there would not be a difference between the hujjah of God and those who have authority upon them. Why do we try to sometimes bring the status of Imams and say they're like normal people, they're just scholars, na'udhu billah. When you have in Quran so many different miracles, so many different types of knowledge of the prophets. Prophet Sulaiman in the Quran speaks to ants, to animals. Prophet Sulaiman has control over the winds. Why would it be impossible for the Imam to have this power? So therefore you see there must be a difference from Imam and Ma'mun, from the Hujjah and Mahjuj alayh. Another person comes and he is, maybe you've heard of his name more. Has anyone here been to Sarpol al-Zahab, which is the companion Ahmad ibn Ishaq? Ahmad ibn Ishaq is from Iran. He's from Qum. Al-Ash'ari al-Qumi. He was one of the confidants of the Imam. He comes, I'm giving you some of the attributes of the followers of Imam Hassan Askari salam for us to be able to take hardship and be able to take this hardship and to progress in our lives. Ahmad ibn Ishaq comes. It is said that it is his last trip. He brings khums, again, another confidant of the Imam. He brings khums to the Imam from Iran, takes it to the Imam. Does not steal it, does not take it, gives it to the Imam. There, Imam Hassan Askari salam starts talking about Imam al-Zaman. And starts talking about that the world will be filled with dhulm. The world will be filled with oppression. That there will be someone that will bring, paraphrasing, that will bring justice to this world. And he's surprised that he's saying that he hasn't spoken to me like this before. I'm his representative. Actually, maybe, has anyone here visited the holy city of Qom and seen a grand masjid across from Haram Hazrat Ma'suma? That's the masjid of Imam Hassan al-Askari, commanded by Ahmad ibn Ishaq. Imam Hassan al-Askari commanded Ahmad ibn Ishaq to build this masjid. So one of the masjids we have is from this companion of the Imam who was instructed by Imam. Then he begins to talk more about the Imam. And he says that there will be a time period. He says that the Imam will be similar to Al-Khidr and Dhul Qarnayn. Both of them, they say, some of the Khidr has a long life. He is similar, he'll be similar to Khidr, who has a long life, that today we agree that Khidr, generally speaking, is alive. And we say his name, we say Salamullah ala al-Khidr. Some of the traditions say Khidr is alive, so that the Imam of the age is not alone. He is a companion of the Imam. Salamullah ala al-Khidr. Now, he begins this, and then he talks about the time of occultation, the time that we are at. And he says that there are two people that will be saved during this time of occultation. One, that person that is steadfast in Iman, in Imamat. That person that is strong when it comes to Wilayat and Imamat. That person will be saved. Two, that person that always does dua for Imam al-Zaman. That person that does dua for Imam. The Ghaybat did not start yet. Ahmad ibn Ishaq is seeing the 11th Imam. Are we of these? Are you strong when it comes to Imamat, in your belief in Imamat? Some people during the time of occultation were weak, and they came to Shaykh al-Saduq, and Shaykh al-Saduq had to prepare hadith. And then he compiles the book Kamaluddin wa Tamamu Ni'mah to give refutations to the arguments to those that were debating and that were in doubt about the Imam of the age. Are we strong when it comes to Imamat? Read the narrations, read Quran. Almost 1,900 hadith about Imam Mahdi. How many hadith we have that he is from the son of Imam Hassan Askari alayhi salam. Look at Al-Kafi, mentions all the names of the Imams, even before they're born, says their names. If you want to be strong when it comes to Imamat during the occultation, study these hadith. Two, they make dua. They're constantly making dua for the Imam. When you look at this book, Makyal al-Makarim, you see this book that has been, the entire purpose of it is why you should pray, the benefit of praying for Imam al-Zaman. Why you should pray for him. And it has it listed, Alif, Ba, Ta. It continues, and he says, why you, a believer, a follower, a Shia, should pray for Imam al-Zaman. How much do you pray for him? Do you do it daily? Do you remember him daily? When it comes Friday, are you prepared for him? This is one of the signs you'll be saved. So then he finally shows. He shows the Imam, or the Imam comes forward and he sees him, and when he's speaking, and Ahmad ibn Ishaq says, I want a sign. I want a sign to make sure that he is the Imam. And Imam al-Zaman in this tradition says, Ana baqiyatullah fi ardi. I am the everlasting, what remains from what Allah has remained for this earth. Wa ana muntaqim min a'da'i. And I will be the seeker of revenge for those who are the enemies of God. So second, we see Ahmad ibn Ishaq be a companion of the Imam of the age in this way. So we're talking about the calamity of death. We're saying that for us to become good companions of Imam al-Zaman, Imam Hassan Askari alayhi salam, we need to take these difficulties, this hardship that we have, and be able to look at it as an opportunity for us to get close to Allah. Now what does Imam Hassan Askari want from us? I'm going to end tonight's discussion, this funeral, with a hadith from the Imam. Whoever wants to hear this hadith, please recite salawat. 12 al-Uqul is a very good book, and this has a tradition here from Imam Hassan Askari salam that mentions that washhadu janaizahum, witness and go to funerals. When there's a janazah, when somebody passes away, Imam says go to it, just as you have been doing today. Basically, even though the marhum passed away in Iran, many of you have come from far places to be able to participate in the funeral procession. Then the Imam says, وَعُودُ مَرْضَاهُمْ. So look at the instructions, what he wants from us. 1, when somebody passes away, go to their funeral. 2, when someone is sick, visit them. This is what he wants from us. وَأَدُّوا حُقُوقَهُمْ, and give them their rights. Do not take the rights of people. There are many brothers and sisters, our community, they have many rights upon us. One right is not to reveal their secrets. One right of theirs is not to talk behind their back, for example. One right is not to make up rumors about them. So many rights we have. One right is not to upset them, not to hurt them. So the 3 things we mentioned, going to the funeral, 2, visiting people that are sick, and 3, the rights, holding the rights of the believers. فَإِنَّ الرَّجُلْ مِنْكُمْ إِذَا وَرَعْ فِي دِينِهِ. So if a person has piety of the heart, وَصَدَقَ فِي حَدِيثِهِ. 5th, is truthful when he speaks. وَأَدَّى الْأَمَانَةِ. 7, 6 and 7, gives back the trust, is a trustworthy person, and has, when he meets them, وَحَسَّنَ خُلُقَهُ مَعَ النَّاسِ, and he speaks kindly to the people, he behaves appropriately in a beautiful manner with the people. If he has these qualities that I just mentioned, قِيلَ هَذَا الشِّيعِي فَيَسُرُّنِي ذَلِكَ. If they say I'm Shia, it will make me happy. So what are they? Attend funeral ceremonies from before. Visit the ill ones. Fulfill their rights. Are pious. Tells the truth. Returns the deposits to their owners. And conducts courteously with the people. If they say I'm Shia, I will be happy. This has mafhum. Mafhum means the opposite. It has mafhum, meaning, if God forbid we do not do this. When somebody passes away, we don't really go to their funerals. Someone is sick, they need help, we don't visit them. We take the rights of the people, we don't care about haqqun nas. We don't have good akhlaq with one another as a community. We're always fighting with one another, for example. We steal the trust of others. We don't have wara, we don't have piety, we sin. Then I say, I'm Shia, assalamu alaikum, I'm Shia. I keep saying I'm Shia. But at the end, it doesn't make the Imam happy. Only those that have these 6, 7 qualities, they can say I'm Shia, and they can make the Imam happy. I'm not saying I'm one of those. Allah, make prayer that we are true Shia, and that when we say we're Shia with these characteristics, we make the Imam happy, inshallah. We ask Allah to have rahmah on the dear soul of this marhum, inshallah, and will dim the lights of Hajj Ali Hushmand Balashahri. As we know, one of the things we usually do in funeral ceremonies is we do a tawassul to Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salam, because one of the most important things you can do is to become close and cry for the Imam so that Allah can honor us. I want to take you to Samarra, a very estranged, gharib place. I want to take you to an Imam who died at the age of 28. 28 is nothing. Many people today, as the teachers we have in school, many of them, they tell our age, we're around 28. He only was an imam from 22 to 28 years old. 6 years, the shortest of the imams. 6 years only. And at the age of 28, they come and poison him. And the poison they give to imams is similar to being bitten by a snake. The imam is possibly twisting, twirling. They prepare a drink for him, a remedy for him that will make him good. A person comes to offer this to him, and this is in the tradition, that when he offers it, the imam, it hits his teeth and his teeth are shaking. Imam Hassan Askari alayhi salam's teeth are shaking. These are the last moments of his life. So they bring someone that will make him very happy at the last moments. They bring him his son, Imam al-Zaman. I'm sure that when you cry for Imam Hassan Askari, the imam is very happy for you because it's his father. Imam of the age comes, and there it mentions that when he comes to Imam Hassan Askari alayhi salam, Imam cries, وَرَآهُ الْحَسَنْ عَلَيْهِ السَّلَامُ بَكَى وَقَالَ يَا سَيِّدَ أَهْلَ بَيْتِ, O Sayyid and master of his family of Ahlul Bayt, of his Ahlul Bayt, أسقني عسقني الماء فإني ذاهب إلى ربي. Why don't you offer? Why don't you give me some of this water? Give me some of this remedy. How hard is it for a 5-year-old son to watch his father be poisoned and is leaving towards his Lord? So Imam of the age has barakat, and he is able to give the remedy, thumma, or give some of this, it's called mustaka, to Imam. حرك شفتيه ثم سقاه فلما شربه قال هيئوني للصلاة. Now that he has drank this, he possibly feels better and says, prepare me for salat. And the Imam begins to help his dying father with wudu, and being able to help him with mass, with wiping. But there's also another few children that had to witness their parents, their mother being passed away. That is Imam Hassan, Imam Hussein alayhim salam, Lady Zainab, Kulthum. When they saw their mother Az-Zahra, Fatima Az-Zahra, and they saw their mother from 75 to 95 days after the injury and injuries, slowly and slowly becoming more frail and frail and frail, until finally they came and the news was said that, dear Hassan, Hussein, now to Imam Ali, that your mother, your wife, has left this world. Inna lillah, inna ilayhi raji'un. May Allah's mercy be upon all of your marhumeen, inshallah, especially the founders of this masjid, especially this dear marhum. May Allah give patience to this family, inshallah, and accept our condolences. Please recite a salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.